Welcome back to MotoRevs 27 today for the 2026 Yamaha Ténéré 700 World Raid, and let's take a look.
The Yamaha Ténéré 700 has always been a motorcycle with a clear mission. Not to impress on paper, not to dominate spec sheets, but to survive anywhere, anytime. And then Yamaha decided that anywhere still wasn't far enough. This is the Ténéré 700 World Raid. A bike that doesn't whisper adventure, it demands it. At first glance, the World Raid looks familiar. The rally-inspired silhouette, the tall stance, the unmistakable Tenere face, it's all there. But look closer, and you realize this is not just a dressed-up T7. This is a functional evolution. The most obvious change is impossible to ignore. A massive 23-liter dual-fuel tank, split into two aluminum cells that sit lower on the chassis. It's not about bragging rights, it's about range, balance, and mass centralization. Yamaha didn't add fuel just to go further. They added it to go deeper, into places where fuel stops are a luxury, not a guarantee. Powering the World Raid is the familiar 689 cubic centimeters CP2 parallel twin, and that's a deliberate choice. No turbocharging. No high-strung tuning. Just proven reliability. With around 74 horsepower and 68 Newton-meters of torque, this engine isn't here to thrill you with brutal acceleration. Instead, it delivers torque where it matters, low to mid-range, exactly where adventure riding lives. On long days, in bad fuel conditions, far from civilization, this engine makes sense. It's predictable, durable, and forgiving. But let's be honest. If you're chasing top-speed glory or adrenaline-heavy highway pulls, this is not your weapon of choice. And Yamaha knows that. Where the World Raid truly separates itself is in the chassis and suspension. This is where the Rally DNA stops being marketing torque. The long-travel KYB suspension, 230mm up front and 220mm at the rear, transforms the bike off-road. At speed, on loose surfaces, the World Raid feels planted, stable, and confidence-inspiring. It doesn't dance nervously. It tracks forward with intent. Compared to the standard Ténéré 700, this version feels more serious, more composed, almost closer to a rally bike than a typical adventure tourer. But there is a price for that capability. Weight. With a full tank, the World Raid tips the scales noticeably heavier than the standard T7. And while the low-mounted tanks help hide that mass while moving, you feel it the moment the bike slows down, or when the terrain turns technical. This is not a bike that adapts to you. You adapt to it. The tall seat height and wide stance demand experience, confidence, and physical commitment from the rider. For shorter riders or beginners, this bike can feel intimidating, even punishing. Electronics, however, finally bring the Tenere into the modern era. The World Raid benefits from a 6-axis IMU, offering cornering ABS, traction control, and refined rider aids without overcomplicating the experience. There's also cruise control, a feature adventure riders have been asking Yamaha for, and now, it's here. The large vertical TFT display supports smartphone connectivity and navigation, reinforcing the idea that this bike is built for long days and longer journeys. Not flashy, just functional. So, who is the Ténéré 700 World Raid really for? It's not for daily commuting. It's not for casual weekend rides. And it's definitely not for riders who want comfort above all else. This bike is for riders who plan routes where maps become suggestions. For those who measure trips in weeks, not hours. For people who value durability over luxury, and capability over convenience. In many ways, the World Raid feels intentionally uncompromising. Which brings us back to the question. Is the Yamaha Ténéré 700 World Raid built for the end of the world? Maybe not literally. But it is built for riders who are willing to go as far as they can until the road ends, and then keep going. And in today's adventure motorcycle market, that kind of honesty is rare. If you're looking for the fastest, the lightest, or the most comfortable ADV bike, look elsewhere. But if you're searching for a machine that prioritizes endurance, resilience, and purpose, the World Raid might be exactly what you've been waiting for.